Hello, everybody. It's so exciting to see you all here this morning. Happy Friday. Nice. I love seeing some familiar names. I also love seeing some newer names. That's super exciting. Hello, hello. Eric, you have the right idea. You can go ahead and open that webinar chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. Where are you located and what kind of contractor are you? All right. Charlotte, North Carolina, awesome. Remodeler, fantastic. Houston, Texas, HVAC, we like it, we like it. Okay. Lots of remodelers, fantastic. Look at us all, this is so exciting.
Well,
we have lots of Florida.
Good luck keeping up with the chat today.
It's gonna be a huge challenge and I'm up for it. Got some Pennsylvania, New York. Welcome, Maryland. We like to see you here. I see a lot of Texas though, so we've got a lot of neighbors in the room. Fantastic. Denver. Nice and bold, Bruce. Way to go. Fantastic. Look at us all. This is so exciting to see. So again, welcome you all to our product update today. We are so excited to see you all here. We have so many exciting pieces to share with you today, but also we're going to share some of our future development updates with you. So we're glad you're here. Beverly, where is Walhalla? I'm not familiar with where that is. I know of Valhalla. I don't know of Walhalla. Let me know. I see we've got more Georgia, Oregon. Awesome. So we are representing all around the globe today. Fantastic. Okay, looks like most of you have your audio already ready to go, and so we will get rolling. We have a lot to cover today, and we know that y'all are busy people. So here we go. So thanks again for you all joining us for today's JobTread Live product update. JobTread founder and CEO Eric Fortenberry will be sharing exciting product updates as well as upcoming development priorities with you all. This webinar will be recorded and shared on the JobTread Pros Facebook group as well as in the JobTread Help Desk. Please go ahead and utilize the Q&A tool or the chat box if you have any questions during the webinar, and our team will do our best to answer them as we go. And so at this point, Eric, go ahead and take it away and let's see what you got.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Anna. And yeah, just wanted to welcome everyone to this JobTread town hall here. I'm really excited to have everyone out. This is record-breaking, almost 300 people registered for this event. So it's pretty exciting to see how many people are following along and really interested in all these updates. We're just very appreciative of you all and for the opportunity to work with you. So thanks for giving us an hour here on your Friday. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. Before we start though, I do want to remind everyone, as usual, like if you're not part of our JobTread Pros Facebook group, it's a great place for you to engage with a lot of the community. I think we're almost at 1,000 members in there. So do check us out if you're on Facebook. If not, no worries. But it is a great place to network with others, to ask questions, to just kind of have those collaborative opportunities with other JobTread users. So I wanted to dive into just a real quick recap of the JobTread Connect User Conference. We had over 200 people in attendance here in Richardson, Texas. It was a great event. Had 28 states represented, had 5 keynotes, tons of ed sessions, lots of really fun networking events. Just want to thank all of those who came out to that event and met with my team and collaborated with us, shared your feedback. All of the networking with each other was really awesome to see. We had tons of great ideas that came out of that, and so I just wanted to thank you all for that, for coming out. And we do plan to do that every year. So if you weren't able to make it last year, we've got one coming up for you every year. So it'll be an opportunity for you to come out next time. At the conference, I did share where we're at. So just wanted to kind of share a little bit of an update. Since then, as of today, we've got over 53,000 jobs have been run through JobTread and over $630 million of approved orders, we were like, as of that day at the development keynote that I did at JobTread Connect about a month ago, we're at 500 million, $500 million there. And so we've already grown another 130 million of approved jobs through JobTread, which is just really exciting. We love seeing that. We love seeing you all winning jobs and being able to help make your customers' lives even better by delivering the work that you're providing them. Almost 265 million in approved invoices have been run through here, almost 150 million in vendor bills, 160,000 homeowners and companies end customers are on the system, with 80,000 suppliers, subs, vendors, kind of all those external users there. And the catalogs are growing great, 355,000 catalog items with, about 17,000, budget templates and cost groups have been created. So it's really exciting to see the growth and to see all of this activity happening in JobTread amongst all of you all. And I'm also excited to announce, since the conference, we had just hit 1,000 customers at the beginning of this year. We're now already at 1,150 active customers. So, super exciting to watch the growth. We celebrate each and every, customer who joins us at JobTread. You all are helping us grow. You're helping us afford to continue building out our team, to continue improving the product, and so it's just really exciting for us. Our goal by the end of the year is hopefully, we double up again to have 2,000 customers on JobTread. But we're really excited about this. We appreciate everything that all of you all have done to help spread the word and to promote JobTread to your friends and colleagues and people, on your social groups and on Facebook. It really is working. All of the positive reviews that everyone's put out there have been tremendously helpful. So thank you all for helping us continue to grow JobTread as a community. With that, though, I will say we have to also focus on, how do we make sure that we continue to grow our team and the service that we're providing? We are a software as a service company. So, we're a software company, but we also are a service company. And, challenges that we have with that is with this expansion, with this rapid growth, is scaling our team. And so I wanted to just share a few of the updates and things that we're doing to scale our customer success. I'd say, at the end of the day, our goal is to maximize your success with JobTread. And so, I'd say one of the biggest updates that we've recently made was with these live trainings that are now available. You can sign up, directly within the help desk. Anna, who many of you met and know, she's actually Dr. Anna Hunter. She's got a PhD in organizational change management. She started off with us at the beginning, heading up our marketing efforts, but has now moved over to the customer success side and is now our director of learning and development. She has taken on the initiative to essentially provide these daily live trainings for everyone. And she's built out an entire curriculum behind it that I'll share here in a second. But, every single day you can get 2 to 3, live trainings that you're able to join in on and learn, in a group setting. That's helped us tremendously to be able to provide more trainings ongoing for all of our customers that are joining. We're also, continuing to build out our video library. We've brought on some people to help create more videos, to help process all that content. We want to continually put out more, training materials, and videos are a great way for people to learn. It's a challenge as we're continuing to update the product, making sure we keep all those videos up to date. So, that is something that we're committed to doing, and we're going to continue to work on putting out awesome videos for you. And also doing all these webinars, things like this, and just kind of general, business strategy and construction strategy webinars and things, with our partners and people who we think can help add value to your business. We're going to continue providing those as well. One of the most exciting updates I think here that we recently came up with, and we're going to be rolling out in the next couple of weeks, is essentially, we hear all the time that it's a challenge to, schedule a time to meet with your dedicated customer success manager. And so one of the things that we're going to be implementing here in the coming weeks is essentially office hours. So every customer success manager is going to provide, 1 hour a day where it's just going to be open office hours, so that you can drop in to any one of those any day. And again, kind of ask whatever questions. We can, have it on Zoom, share our screen. You can hear what other people are asking, what challenges they may be having. but we want to make sure that we're making ourselves available to you as often as we can. And so these office hours are going to be tremendously helpful, again, to help us continue scaling while still providing that great level of customer service to all of our customers. And then we're also the on-demand customer support. Some of you have probably figured out, if you call our main office line, if any of the customer success team's not available to answer it, then many other people within the office may answer. If it doesn't get answered, or it's on the weekends or at night, it does roll to my cell phone. We are extremely excited. We've been looking for a dedicated customer support person to essentially head up our customer support team that will handle a lot of the inbound calls and emails and trying to just be as responsive as we possibly can. We've been looking for that person for a while. We do hire slowly, and want to make sure we bring on the right people who are going to just be a good fit with our team, who are going to understand our product, our industry, and be a great support resource for you all. So that is coming. I'm excited to be adding that on this year, that we can now afford to bring on someone in that role. And we're also lastly looking to start doing more in-person events. So in our new office, which I'll talk about in a second, we are going to have dedicated training space where we could have up to 100 people directly in our office, is one of the amenities there. So look for those to be coming in the future. But we are constantly looking at ways that we can continue to engage with you and provide hands-on workshops and just help you continue maximizing your success with JobTread. Just wanted to highlight our customer success team here, because as you know, they truly do bend over backwards. They really are working way more hours than they probably should be. But this is very important to us. And so I wanted to highlight these guys and gals who have been really the backbone of this organization and have helped us to continue scaling JobTread and being there for you all. Obviously Travis leading the team, Anna joining us over on customer success. Many of you guys work with Josh, with Michael. Stephanie joined us at the beginning of the year. She is phenomenal. And we've got Dan Zidell, who is actually starting on Monday. This guy I'm really excited about as well. He's got a lot of experience, managing, finish outs and properties and construction work and subs. So he's super excited, super passionate. I already added him to JobTread Pros Facebook group and already saw him creating videos and responding to people. So we're super excited to have Dan joining us on Monday here. And we're looking for at least 2 more people. So, if you do know people who are, would be a great fit for us, please do send them our way. You do need to be in Dallas. We are, in office only. Don't do remote right now. So, we're looking for people to come join us and who will be, with us here in Dallas. So I talked about the live trainings that Anna's doing. Just again, wanted to quickly recap what this looks like. We got these 9 different kind of 101s through 109s. Anna is going to be adding some more advanced or intermediate and advanced. The 200 series, the 300 series. These have been highly attended and lots of great feedback. So definitely check this out in the app. And lastly, I wanted to share too, we're moving our offices, we're relocating, we're actually moving into Dallas. Really excited about this. This is going to help us continue building out our company. Right now we're split, in 2 offices here in our floor, got about 3,000 square feet. We're immediately taking, I think it's like almost 8,000 square feet in this initial expansion. And then we also have some essential built-in expansions here to take on more. And this whole space is essentially ours. As soon as we need to expand and take it, this gives us, I think it's like another 12,000 square feet. And then we have a whole nother first right of refusal on another 10,000 square feet on the same floor connected to us that we're really excited to be adding on there. And then we got a second right of refusal on a third set of 10,000 square feet on our floor. So we've set ourselves up. It's an extremely long-term lease, but we're looking forward to building out our team and continuing to expand. And this is where we're going to also be able to provide those insight or those on-site, trainings, workshops, things for all of our customers. And our office here is attached to a Westin hotel. So it'll be a great place for JobTread Connect next year. All right. So without further ado, I want to hop into the product updates that we've been rolling out. We're gonna talk about kind of what's live now, what's coming, and then what's on our roadmap. So we're gonna go through these. All right, QuickBooks. We have heard from tons and tons of people the importance of being able to pull in your expenses and receipts that are logged into your QuickBooks Online. You know, we understand credit card transactions automatically flow into there. You can directly, you know, allocate them, you know, reconcile them straight to the job. And so, you know, that is a way that, you know, we thought it was really important to be able to do this. And so you can now enable pulling in expenses from your QuickBooks Online directly into JobTread. You know, we're going to attempt to match the expense line items to the line items in the budget, you know, and that's based on the, you know, the product and service that's mapped to the JobTread cost code. If we're not able to match it automatically, then we will just create what is you see here at the bottom, this uncategorized you know, group that'll essentially kind of plug them in there. And this is going to enable you to be able to view all of your budget grouped by cost code. So without having to even have these expenses directly on the same line as the income, you know, as the original line item in the budget, you can use this group by cost code view here, which is essentially still going to roll it all up, and you'll be able to see, you know, what was approved, what the, you know, what the bills and the actuals were. And then, well, you can't see it here, it was cut off, but, you know, also directly the invoicing there. And so just, you know, in this example, you can see I've got this drywall materials that, you know, there was no approved budget, there was no, you know, invoice. It essentially wasn't in the budget, but a bill came in for it, you know, or a credit card transaction. And so, you know, that's where when we just do the view, you know, by cost codes, you can see exactly where that was, and it's going to help you with that. Now, one of the other neat things though, is that we've also now given you the ability to, you know, essentially reclassify where document line items, you know, on these expense documents, you can point them to other line items in the budget. So in the job reports tab, there's a new cost mapping tool that will essentially show you all of those line items. And then you can decide if you want to move what it points to another item, to the appropriate line item in the budget. You have that ability to go in and just, you know, easily reclassify them, even though the document has already been approved. You know, again, we had a lot of feedback on this and how this would be really helpful. So it's not required. You certainly don't need it. At the end of the day, getting in the actual, you know, expense and receipts, all of that, you know, information is now directly in JobTread. So the totals on the job are going to be accurate. You're going to be able to see the full picture. But if you do want to go and reallocate them to different line items, you know, just to further improve the reporting, you can do that. That is an option, and we've made it as easy as we possibly can. A couple other updates there on the QuickBooks. So we now also have support for mapping your JobTread cost codes, you know, and cost types, you know, in this combination mapping, if you will, to your QuickBooks products and services. So as it is today, if you wanted to basically, you know, it's a one-to-one, you know, so you might just have drywall and map it to a drywall product or service, you know, in QuickBooks. But obviously, you know, as many of you all have figured out, and as you grow and scale, you may want to be separating, you know, your labor from your 1099s, from your materials. And so in order to do that, you had to add additional cost codes within JobTread and then map those to those additional products and services. Well, with this new mapping, what we now have is the ability for you to have one JobTread cost code mapped to multiple products and services through the cost type. So for example, if you wanted to, you know, basically have, you know, your cost code be painting, and then automatically all of the painting cost code, you know, with the cost type of labor, that can then point to, you know, that painting labor product or service. Same thing for your materials. And so this allows you to keep the cost code simpler in JobTread, but still have that more advanced mapping and those more advanced products and services in your QuickBooks, so that all of the income and all of the cost get properly allocated to those income and those expense accounts. Or, you know, if you still want to keep it simple, which, you know, we're all about keeping it simple, you could basically have, you know, all of your labor, you know, for regardless which cost code it is, they could still map to, you know, a singular product and service for, you know, for labor, and maybe you have one set up for material and for subs. And so, you know, all of your cost codes based on the cost type could map to these general, you know, product and service buckets, but it still lets you be able to have that advanced kind of cost code, you know, reporting in JobTread, but keeping it all more organized into its own, you know, buckets there in QuickBooks. So this is really powerful stuff. You know, a lot of times, you know, your bookkeeper, your accountant, you know, may need to kind of work with them to get this set up, but yeah, super excited, and I appreciate all of the help that we've gotten from our partners to really flush out the right way to implement this. Lastly, we now have also provided support for QuickBooks classes where you can categorize invoices and bills by class. You can either set this on a per job basis or on a per document basis. So that's now an option there. And whatever the settings are in your QuickBooks for classes, those are automatically going to be taken into account within your JobTread. And then we've got we've also now added direct links to QuickBooks from the job dashboard and for each individual document. So this is going to make it a lot easier. If you're looking at an invoice in JobTread and you want to pull it up in QuickBooks, you can just one click and it'll open straight to that record in QuickBooks. Or just again on the main job dashboard, you can click and just open up the sub account in your QuickBooks for that job. And then also though, if it's not yet been created, if the hierarchy hasn't been created in your JobTread because you haven't sent out and had a proposal approved, or you haven't sent an invoice, or approved a PO or a bill, or approved some hours, like those would trigger creating that hierarchy in your QuickBooks. Well, now you can just manually push it in. If you want to push it over earlier, you can do that directly on the job dashboard. And then lastly, very technical thing, but before you weren't able to have the same account for your payment deposit to and your payment processing deposit to. And so those can now be the same, so undeposited funds, we've updated that. So that'll now work. So those are all the QuickBooks updates. Again, as always, everything comes out first with QuickBooks Online. We will be going to implement, all of this with QuickBooks Desktop next. But yeah, really excited about these updates. Andrew's been working really hard to make this happen, and we got tons of great feedback at JobTread Connect and from all of our customers and all of our bookkeeping partners as well. Thank you all for your help on that. All right, so moving on, subjects on documents. So we heard a lot of feedback. Again, people, as your jobs grow in size and you get a lot of documents are getting created, it became challenging to know what was on each document, what they were for. If you had multiple bid requests, or let's say you have multiple change orders going on, or you started creating selection documents, being able to have that very brief, note or description or memo, whatever, you kind of think of it as, we heard a lot of people asking for the ability to add some sort of way to, kind of notate what every document was for. And so we've added on the documents. There's a subject for it. This is just, it's a tentative, again, be a brief, description, just so you can quickly scan that list of documents and know what it was for. This is visible both to internal users and to your external users. We think this is going to help everyone just kind of keep that organized. And it's automatically displayed on the list view there on the jobs, the documents tab. And you can also add it to, your documents list views, on the main documents tab, making that available. I think it's a great tool. We've already seen a lot of, really helpful uses of it. It's also searchable. So, like I said, great when you have multiple change orders, selections, or invoices. You want to know which draw, request this was for, or your POs, what this is for, the bill, having that information right there at a glance, we've seen is going to be really helpful. All right, images and file count in the catalog. So, we added the ability to have, images and files, directly to cost items, and then also having that, where you can just save those in the catalog, but as we were using it and the feedback we heard was, well, hey, I can't tell which of my cost items I've already added images to. And so we've now allowed you to essentially add to your custom list views there, that image. And so it's going to show if you have multiple images or files, it's going to show a preview of the first one. But you can also add that file count. So again, this is helping you understand, which cost items have an image, which ones, don't, or how many are on there. Just, it's a small little update, but man, it's really been helpful, even, for us internally, as we're building out our demo community and we're creating, all these catalogs and things, being able to have that in there, it really spruces up the catalog a lot. And, when you add these cost items directly to your jobs, you'll already know what's going to be pulled over. So, that was a quick little update, but I think it's going to be really valuable. All right, and I know this is rapid fire, but we got a couple more here. So while we're in the catalog, looking at the cost group improvements that we've made. Again, we understand that when you're first building out those budgets, it could be a little bit challenging to not be able to have the expand and collapse just like you do in the budget. So that's now been added. And and just so you know too, like these up here at the top, these expand and collapse, you can click those multiple times. So if you have nested groups, that will keep opening up the groups or keep collapsing the groups. Really helpful tool though to have in there. We've also added all of the visibility settings. So essentially being able to create your budget templates that are pre-configured, from a visibility standpoint, having that set up in the template is just, saving so much time and making it so much easier for you to then add these to the jobs. And then when you create those documents, it's automatically, showing and hiding the information you want. So as you can come in here and you can hide all of the sub items below a group if you want, or you can hide the descriptions, you can hide the quantities, the units, the prices. And so just being able to save that one time in the template, is a great time saver. Just again, streamlines, the process of building out budgets and documents. So I'm glad we got that in there. Just a lot of performance improvements have been added as well. So now you'll notice that those, when you load up those templates, they instantaneously load. When you import those to jobs, they're extremely fast. We as we kind of originally, developed it, and then we saw a bunch of homeowners and, larger builders putting in, thousands of line items into these budgets. Well, when you went to go add it to the budget, on a job, it could, take a little bit of time. So we've optimized that. It's extremely fast now. We've also added the ability for you to be able to export the cost groups to CSV. Essentially kind of everything, within this catalog, you can export. You can export the entire thing, or if you set up, custom views on the cost items, you can export all of that. This whole template right here can be exported to CSV. And then we also added a clone button. So, even though you're able to go in and create a new cost group there and import, one, it just wasn't as intuitive. And so now there is a clone button. I think it's cut off here, but it's off to the side. You can just directly clone a one of these cost group templates to modify it or whatever you want to do. So it's just single click to make that. So again, we've made a lot of these improvements based on your feedback. We do have some additional improvements coming that I'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, that's the cost groups there. All right. So now, and one other thing that's related to the to the catalog, but elsewhere as well. So we've now provided you self-import tools. So you can essentially download the import templates, and we've got video instructions on how to do it. But you can now mass import as well as mass update any of the data for your customers and leads, for your vendors, and for your cost catalog items and groups, directly in the customers tab, the vendors tab, and the catalog tab. You're going to see there's an import button. And the cool thing about this, and really one of the reasons why we essentially kind of kept it as a, for our customer service team to, we did it on your behalf, for the first, couple of years here. We just wanted to make sure that the data got in there. It was kind of all set up and mapped correctly. But what we've done here is we've essentially have some built-in, data mapping tools that are going to help make it easier for you all to do this. So essentially this first one, the screenshot here, it's showing you these are all of the headers, the column headers from your CSV, and then they're going to automatically, map based on the name. If the name isn't an exact match, you can come in here and you can map it, to the data in JobTread, and then we show you a preview. And so it's a really neat way to make sure that everything's mapped up correctly. You can basically, kind of click, single import, a couple times to make sure everything looks good. It's going to show you that next preview. But then as soon as you're ready, you just import all the remaining, and the import tool will just go through and do all of the different rows in your CSV, getting that data in there. Now, the other neat tool that this has built in is a value mapping tool. And again, this is another one of the challenges that we had to sort of deal with manually before, but now we've built it out in this tool. If we tried to import, let's say, we had, EA and LF as our unit, but in your settings and your job costing for your units, you might have had each in linear feet. Well, beforehand, it would just throw an error and it wouldn't be able to go in there. And so now before the import, starts, it's going to say, hey, we see all these cost codes that don't match exactly to a cost code in your group, or we see all these units that aren't matched. And so, now you can, basically see all of those potential mismatches and then map them directly here and import it. And so it's, again, just speeds up that process, and it's going to make it a lot easier to make sure that all the data gets in there and is correctly mapped. So we're excited about this. Again, I know, many of you, especially early on, had sent in your files and wanted us to import, but again, with a limited customer success team, and as we expand, exponentially grows, it was a challenge for us to kind of go through and run all those, because a lot of times too, it takes some data formatting and kind of just getting your files and your data. We got all sorts of different formats, if you will, and a lot of different kind of just the data often needed to be cleaned up. But now, just so that you can instantly get that done on your own and you don't have to wait on us to get it done, we've given you these tools. Obviously we're still happy to help you with this, but for those of you who are inclined and think you can get it on your own, then we'd love to see you try. And again, if you ever need any help, we're happy to hop in there and help you out. But we think this is a great tool, and essentially just unlocking it for you all. All right. Another one. I'm gonna take a drink here. All right. So as a lot of you know, like, our goal with JobTread has always been to make, JobTread able to be customized to, many different types of businesses. And so, we try our best to not have to, have opinions or to, basically make any decision for you that we think, might be important for you all to be able to customize. And so when we first rolled out these custom list views, we had a standard set. So you might remember there were standard views in there, and then you could go create your own custom views. Well, the challenge was that those standard views didn't really work for everyone, and we heard the feedback that people may want to either delete them, or, maybe they wanted to modify the filters or the columns. And the way that this was first built, it wasn't possible. And so with this update, and this really is huge, like, you can now completely customize all of those standard views. We've now renamed them as organization views. And so any admin can come in and you can, again, make whatever customizations you want, or you can delete them, you can, reorder them, favorite them. All of that is now possible. And so that lets you set this up, really to meet your needs and to create those lists and those views and those reports that are important to your business. You can still create the personal views that won't be shared to anyone else. And again, you can keep kind of modifying them and setting those up, but you can also convert them to an organization view. And at that point, only the administrators are going to be able to modify them or remove them. But it is a great way to share it with everyone. And then the reordering, because, we had it just originally just alphabetically, but, a lot of times, you want to kind of set up your own ordering. And so you can now do all of that, and I just want to share too, like, this is our foundation to custom reporting. These are so powerful where, if you go in and you really start playing around with the filters, I had someone call in, last week saying, hey, he wanted to see all of his sales, last week, and so we went in and we created a custom view, in the documents tab where we had all approved customer orders, that were, approved for last week, and you've got all sorts of date filters that you can add there where you could say, where it was created, this week or last week or this month, or you could put in a custom range. There's lots of different options on how you can customize these. So, they are very, very powerful. This is also where you create those Kanban views where you can kind of, have, instead of a table, view, you can have it in a Kanban. We've got a lot of exciting updates that are going to continue to come out with this. But yeah, so the first step here was making them customizable. All right, moving on to Evo and the payment processing. So, as many of you know, because we've had, probably almost 200, companies have already, applied to do payment processing through Evo. This is something that really kind of spurred from a lot of the feedback that we got, on Stripe, and the lack of customer service and customer support there, was a big challenge. And so we talked to all of the big payment processors out there. I interviewed them all. We looked at everything. The thing and the reason why we selected Evo was because they provided the best customer support. Their office is literally 15 minutes from ours. Their entire 24/7, support center. They've got over 250 people sitting there in that office, and I've confirmed they are there at night too, answering the phones and able to help you whenever you need and have questions about where a payment is or what the status is or whatever it is. They're there to help. And that was very important that we had that, and that aligns with our culture and our belief to provide the best customer service. We were also able to negotiate better processing fees for the credit cards there. With Evo and with the ability to collect payments online, this is directly integrated to your invoices, directly in JobTread. And the other big thing that was really important to us was that they're doing all of the upfront, all of the underwriting, the approval, the verification of your account. It's done all up front. With Striping, with a lot of others, they just want to get you collecting as fast as possible, which is great until you collect a payment that's, greater than, some amount that throws a flag, and then they hold it. And then they put your account on pause and they pause your payouts. And that's when they want to collect all of these additional documents. Ultimately, Evo is doing that upfront. They are underwriting, the volume. And so they do have to collect, everything to verify your business, make sure, that this is a valid business. Again, there are a lot of laws, and financial regulations that know your customer, like they have to know who this is for, to prevent fraud and money laundering. And so, that's why they're asking for a lot of this. We have shared the feedback. I've seen the Facebook pros post, about saying, well, why are they asking for all this? We've shared that with Evo. They literally brought 5 or 6 of their key people from their office to our office on Wednesday. We've had a lot of, in-depth discussions that they're open to this, and we've been able to simplify the requirements. We've been able to reduce a lot of the requirements, but they do need to see 3 months of your payment processing statements or your bank statements to know what that approved processing volume should be. And, depending on the overall volume, if you're wanting to collect more than $6 million a year, they are going to need to ask for some additional, financials. Just again, this is required. This is for them, so I'm excited to have these guys as partners. I want to see everyone continuing to reach out to them because they're a great partner. And they're also offering $1,200 off your JobTread subscription. So essentially $100 a month for the first 12 months, assuming you're, if you're brand new or only processing a little bit, it may be lower, but, almost all of our customers have been approved for the higher volumes. And so, it is a great way to, again, keep the cost for JobTread low. That's helping us continue to scale and grow, so, please do give these guys a shot, reach out to them. They're good people. And if you ever need anything, you can reach out to me or Travis. We can get these guys on the phone immediately. So, again, I love that about them. And yeah, want to see you guys kind of keep going through that. Please do give us feedback there. If you ever need any help, we're here to help. All right. Another cool feature that we rolled out at the beginning of this year at JobTread Connect actually was this new feature request board. And so this is where, everyone can go in and we want you to search and try to see if someone else has already asked for that feature, but you're able to now submit feature requests to us. We have been collecting this from all over, and, with the growth, it's become a little bit more challenging for us to automate, the logging of all this, but this is very important to us. This is how we're able to essentially scale our development and to make sure that we're focused on the highest priority features that are going to make the biggest impact to the most number of our customers. So again, directly in the help desk, you can vote and provide your feedback on features. This has been a tremendous tool for us as we've been, developing out, the selections and allowances I'm about to talk about. Being able to see that feedback that you all have submitted has been really instrumental, and it tells us who to reach out and ask follow-up questions. So, we think this is a really awesome feature. And want to see you guys continue to use it. Yeah, so that's in there as well. All right, so now on to selections and allowances. Now, I do have some good news and I've got some bad news. We'll start with the bad news. We don't have this ready to roll out today. It is something that is probably one of the more complicated features that we've had to work on implementing into JobTread, because what we found is that everybody does it differently. And we really kind of struggled to find what we thought would be the best way to implement this. And so that's why we've taken some extra time to be able to, again, reach out to several of our customers to have discussions about it. We've shown a lot of you guys, what we've been building so far. You've been very helpful. But we will be able to have this in a release state in the next 1 to 2 weeks is our goal. And I'll show you here in a little bit where we're at with it. And we want your feedback though, but to kind of take a step back. So what are our original goals for this? Is to be able to have a dedicated selections tab. Whenever you create a bunch of documents, again, it's like you might have different, things across all these different documents, and some of them would have, the interactive ability to make selections, and everything that, we're doing now was really mostly possible, but it was kind of through all of those different documents. And we found that could be a little bit challenging for the homeowners to keep up to date with, especially for longer projects where they need to make a lot of different selections. We just totally agreed it made sense to break this out into its own tab. And so we've also streamlined the process for managing allowances. So, for the home builders out there, for people who do provide, allowance, like you want to basically get the proposal or get the contract signed without having to figure out every single nuanced detail that needs to be done for the job. You can basically just add an allowance line item to that proposal, and you're setting forth what that amount will be, and then that's going to allow you to move forward, make sure the customer's going to move forward with you, and then you can start blowing out the detailed allowances, and they're going to be able to be directly tied back to the detailed selections tied back to those allowances. We also heard that, again, a lot of times you just want the customer to be able to write in a selection, to provide links or photos, to just give you information, let them go off and find what they want, or maybe even they want to decide how many of something they want, so if you're installing some fancy Z-Wave light switches, you want to let the customer pick how many they want installed. That can also now be accomplished through these write-ins. And then having a way to share the selections with all of the employees and the subs, and having it in one easy to digest place, was really important. And then a lot of people wanted just to essentially be able to download the selections report, hang it up at the job site, or kind of have it as a printout. So these were kind of the high level goals that we wanted to accomplish with this. And so the way that it's going to work, and again, I can show you this here later at the end, but you're going to essentially be able to create these selection sheets and have them optionally linked to allowance budget line items. So you don't have to have them linked to line items though, but non-allowance selections, they're going to essentially display either the price or the cost and fee based on that setting in the document. So if you've already kind of predetermined what those selections are and how much they're going to cost, you can essentially either share the price or the cost with the fee down below. For the ones that are essentially tied to an allowance though, when they make those selections, it's going to show them the cost, and that's going to deduct it, from the allowance. And so at the point, if they exceed what that allowance was, then it's also going to show them that additional cost, that they're agreeing to. And so we're automatically calculating this. This is also really beneficial, like when you're doing upgrades, you can essentially provide them kind of what that base allowance is, and then they can decide if they want to add on additional, and they'll see how much that's going to cost them. We've also got where you can create those write-in selections. If it's a write-in where they're just picking a color, maybe it's, paint color or granite or whatever, where it's not going to affect the price, and they can just write that in, and, it'll be approved because we already know what the price is. Now, if they're writing something in and saying, hey, I want this, this fixture or this appliance, and essentially you leave the cost to the homeowner to be determined, then you're going to get notified, and you'll be able to go in and review it and fully flush out what your cost is going to be to them, can populate that and then let them approve it after that. So you've got some options there. And then, essentially upon approval, the non-allowance selections, they're going to be added to the budget. And the allowance selections are going to be rolled into the budget and into the allowance, within there. One other thing that's not on here that's really neat though, is that you're now also going to be able to add, cost groups and cost items and things directly from the catalog without having to have added them to the budget first. And so essentially this is going to enable you to build out those selections either on the fly by creating new ones, or just from the catalog without having to go add those to the budget. And then once it becomes approved, it'll just move the approved selections to your budget. And so we think that's going to also further just kind of, help organize, your budgets and make sure that you're only looking at the things that have been selected and that are, critical for the job. So I'm really excited about this update. This is going to be one of the biggest updates that that we've done. There's also a lot of really neat document upgrades that are also coming out with this. We had to kind of rework some of the things. We've looked at the entire flow, for creating documents, and have got a lot of really neat ways that we're really simplifying how you can edit, the visibility settings, or edit the edit items, or, if you wanted to add, bills and things to your invoices later. Like, we've streamlined a lot of the processes for creating and managing documents. And so that's also going to be coming out with this update. Part of the reason why it's taken a little bit longer as well is because we wanted to kind of just get this all into one package. And so I'll show you some more of that here in just a minute. So those are the things that, are either out today, or, again, selections and allowances is it's imminent. But we do want to get feedback, from more of you all. If you're interested in playing around with it, while it's still in development on our staging servers, you can reach out to our customer success team. We do have a way to give you access. And so next week, we'll probably share that with some, but yeah, it's a really complicated, under the hood, very complicated thing to implement, given all of the complexities of how everyone does it differently. But we think we've got a great solution that's going to essentially enable this to be able to accommodate all of those different scenarios. So moving on to the development roadmap, I want to share, kind of what our next biggest focuses are going to be. Some of these, again, may already have some things in the works, or they're going to be kind of coming up next. And so we're going to go through each one of these, real quickly here. But, just again, I like to share what is coming up, because that's going to help you, further think about how you can provide us feedback about each of these things. It's just very helpful when, you guys already understand how the system currently works and can share some feedback about how you think it could work better, because that's how we keep improving JobTread for everyone. So the catalog updates that we've still got coming out, again, we've heard it, and it's going to come in there, the ability to do mass actions, just like you can do in the budgets, that's coming as well. So rest assured that that'll be coming here shortly. And then one of the big things too, that, like, again, we want to make sure that we're streamlining this process and making it as easy as possible for you all. And instead of, right now when you're building out your budget template, or, your cost groups there in the catalog, in order to see what that's going to look like, on a proposal, then you got to basically go add it to a job and then add it to a document. And so we're going to essentially give you the ability to just directly preview, a template in the catalog, what it'll look like on any one of your document templates. And some of the groundwork is being done as we speak with this selections and allowances and document upgrade. But I think that's going to be tremendously helpful. And then, we're also still kind of the bigger global catalog, being able to have template libraries where we can share all the templates that we have. We do have a lot of templates available. We just don't make them, by default imported to everyone's catalog, just because a lot of the things won't make sense, and we don't want to clutter it up. So if you are looking for some ideas and templates, do reach out to your customer success manager. But we do hope to essentially expose those in this new global catalog template library that's on our near-term roadmap here. From the budget updates, again, the same thing, where the ability to preview a document without having to create the document. We've seen a lot of times people are creating, the proposals, and then they go back and they modify the budget, and then they go create another one, and you end up with a ton of different, draft proposals. Well, this way you're going to just be able to one click and preview it, and then close the preview, make adjustments. And then once you've got it finalized, then you'll go and create that document. And so we think that's going to be tremendously helpful. We're also going to be adding the ability to have your cost item custom fields as budget columns in the budget tool. Just like how you can add and remove, the certain files certain fields to the budget. You're going to now be able to add those cost item custom fields. And this is, probably the biggest, reason we hear the request for this is the ability, again, to track the status of all of the line items in your budget. So whether it's, tracking your ordering and your purchasing status, or, different options or SKUs and model numbers, like, there's a whole host of ways that you all might want to use these custom fields on cost items. But right now, you can do that, but you got to click on the line item to open up and see the details of that particular line item. Being able to just add that column straight there in the budget we know is going to be tremendously helpful. And so we're planning to get that implemented, after some of these other updates. Moving on. So again, back to that feature request. One of the top feature requests that we've heard about is, some more advanced notifications. And so our plan here is to essentially add a notification section directly in the application where you can see everything that you've been notified about. Probably similar to like how Facebook, you can see all the notifications. We also want to provide you more granular, notification options. So, you can kind of get a little bit more tailored to what you want to be notified about. And then lastly, adding some additional, delivery options. So, right now we've got the email, being able to have the in-app notification section where you can see those notifications all right there, not have to go hunt through your emails, is going to be really helpful. There's also some new technology that just recently came out that's going to allow us to actually implement push notifications even to the web app version of the of how you add JobTread to your iPhone, your Android, your tablets and iPads, all that. We are going to be able to essentially implement push notifications within those, which is really exciting. And lastly, the ability for text messaging. We've heard it. We understand that it would be tremendously helpful. And so we're continuing to explore this. We do need to kind of lay some of the notifications, updates, and framework there, and essentially have to make sure that there are, controls to allow people to, opt out and prevent continual text messaging being sent. There's a lot of regulatory issues around, mass text messaging and all that. I'm sure you all have started to get spam text messages and things. And so, we're keeping an eye on that too, but, we are going to look at how we could implement that. I will say that, unlike email, which is extremely, cost affordable, just, basically dirt cheap for us to send however many emails, text messages are more expensive. And so that's kind of another consideration that we have to look at as well. But, it is something that we're looking at and, do plan to implement at some point. All right, so now we got the task and scheduling updates. So, again, we based on your feedback have heard, some great ideas about how we can improve this. One thing that's actually almost done and going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks is essentially being able to have an offset or slack time between tasks. So if you want to lock, how many days, before a task or after a task, the previous or the next one should happen, you'll be able to lock that in. Or even let's say, maybe, one day, before the end of a task, you may want to request, a permit or, kind of whatever it may be, to be able to kind of lock in your lead time or any time after, before starting the next one, you'll be able to now lock that in so that when you drag and shift all of your schedules and things, you can maintain that same gap between the tasks instead of it just kind of pushing up against that next task. We've also heard a lot, the ability to create custom views and essentially save those filters. There's a lot of different options on how you can view tasks, whether it's, essentially kind of, what's been assigned or not assigned or assigned to one person, or if it's, scheduled or not scheduled, like, there's, the Gantt view, the calendar view, the week view. And so essentially just like how you can create those other custom views, on the jobs and the customers and the vendors and the catalog, we're going to give you the ability to set up your own views and default them and save different ones with the configurations you want. I think it's, going to be a huge update. People are really excited about that. Again, looking at how we can also show you, a comparison, versus the original date, when you have to shift, and change dates on tasks and things, we understand you want to be able to compare to what you originally did. Non-scheduled task and to-dos, we've heard it a lot, we're going to look at implementing something there. Again, our goal is always to keep JobTread as simple as possible. And so, really at the end of the day, task, whether they're to-dos or whether they're scheduled items, under the hood, they're really the same. But we're going to look at how we might be able to provide some additional UI to essentially kind of help you create a to-do list versus a scheduled task or in your Gantt charts and things like that. We're also exploring how we can essentially implement checklists within a task. So kind of like a subtask, where you can just go and kind of check them off. That'll reduce the number of tasks that you have to create. Instead of having to create a task group, you could just have one task. So we think that'll also be helpful to get in there. And just task and scheduling. I mean, there's a whole host of other things that we have that we do plan to continue implementing. I mean, this is a huge feature within JobTread. That I could go on all day kind of listing off the things that we do plan to enhance there, but it's very important, and so do keep looking for those. And then lastly, the dimensions and formulas. This is probably going to be our next sort of biggest kind of more complex implementation feature here, but the ability for you to create custom parameters for a cost item or a group or a job, where you can have, maybe you just want to input the width and the height and the depth, or, whatever kind of custom parameters you want to create, then we'll be able to allow you to use formulas that are going to use those parameters to calculate, if you want to calculate the quantity or the cost or the price. There's a lot of different ways that, we think that we can implement this to essentially streamline the ability to, generate those quantities and cost and price by you just inputting more of that takeoff type data into the system. And so super excited about this. We've studied a lot of different implementations for this already. We've got ideas on how we're going to implement it. And this is going to be probably the next bigger thing coming up after the allowances and selections update here. So definitely be looking for that. Really think it's going to just take JobTread to a whole nother level, and allow you to kind of get some kind of creative ways to build out those budgets and do that takeoff. So I've gone through a lot. I know that, again, this is lots is always coming out. So what's the best way to keep up with all this? It's on the what's new section in the help desk. You can see all the releases there on the help desk. In JobTread Pros, we're putting things out. We're doing, live product updates like this. Live trainings are another great way. Anna, constantly incorporates all the new things into those trainings. So, you'll be able to keep up with everything there. Again, also dropping into those customer success office hours. That'll be a great way. To also reiterate, these live trainings, even for existing customers, this is a great way for you to learn some more of the ins and the outs and kind of, get a refresher on everything. Like, we've got a lot more coming out, but please do go and take the time to dive into these with Anna. She's a phenomenal trainer. She knows the system inside and out and has done a great job. We've just heard nothing but extremely positive reviews. So, directly in the help desk, you can click register and, essentially just show up at that time and you can join right there from the help desk. So that is concluding my kind of my slide deck here. I realize I'm right there at the top of the hour. I wanted to thank everybody for attending, and we appreciate your continual involvement with JobTread. So yeah, thank you. And at this point, I'm going to hop into some live demos. So, if you've got time, I'd love for you to hang around, but I wanted to get through everything really quickly, just kind of share all those updates. And yeah, we appreciate you coming.